This is how I'm training. I'm training this dragon fruit to climb up. Yellow dragon fruit. Can you see it? It takes forever to climb up. All these stone fruits, peaches, pear, plum, nectarine, that needs to be planted in place of these big pots. These citrus are semi-pot, meaning the pot was cut in half and it's planting in the hole. This is my Molix sapodilla. Last year was 5 feet tall, and the freeze took it down to just the trunk. And now it's growing back like a bush, which how I like it. Pomelo, coconut cream, mango, pugget down to just a foot, 18 inches, and then training it to have 4 main branch. This one is a bit long, so I might have to trim it so that way it will branch out like this. Smile Chinook mango. It's already bought with a low branch and a lot of trunk, a lot of branches, a low trunk and a lot of branches. And so I did some trimming on the tip, and as you can see, each of them trim tips comes out with 3 or 4 other branches, so it's gonna be a bush. And again, these are my stone fruit that I purchased in Houston, but I don't like them tall, so I pugged them all into about a foot high, and I will plant them in the winter, in the fall, which is now, but I don't have no time on the weekends. This is an Asian pear that I bought as this bare root last year in the spring, or this year. I put it in the ground in the middle of June, so it looks like it's taking forever. And winter is coming, so the leaves is changing colors and dropping. But hopefully by spring next year, it will come up from the trunk again. It'll be like a small, short trees. Barbados cherries that I air layer. Jujube from a bare root, bare root from a runner's in my uncle's yard. These are some seedling from guava that I planted last year. See, I love to go and plug these tips, that way it branch out nicely, turning it into a bush form. Because every leaf you picked, every tip you picked, it will come out with 2 more branches. So this actually came as an air layer from one of my seedling guava. It's doing really good. I put it in the ground just because they're free trees, and if the freeze kill it, oh well. These are with figs, unknown. I got them as cutting, short 6 inches stick. Put it in a pot last year in the winter, put it in a greenhouse, and now they're little bushes of figs. And seedling pink guava. I think these are the tiny little guava from JRN. In the winter time, it died all the way to the trunk, and then it came back. So now it's also in a semi-pot culture. Cut off the bottom half of the pot, stick into the ground, and just leave the pot so I could hold off on the mulch. Loquat. So only thing that died here when I planted them in the middle of summer are 2 loquats. This is my yard. It's kind of messy because we're never home on the weekends to do any work. Skepnum atamoya came as a grafted stick onto chiramoya. Now it's branch and bushy. I threw a bunch of basil seed and now they're growing on the side of it. Probably gonna pull them up soon. This is my long-tongue starfruit. Look at all the flowers in it. Oxapadilla. They were bought in a 3-gallon pot. Now it's 7-gallon pots, and they seem to be liking the full sun in the middle of the yard. A lot of mulch. Very easy to take care of. More long-tongue starfruit from Home Depot. This is Fuju persimmon. Again, I planted in the ground in a mound, and voila. It's only about 3 months in the ground, and looks like it's good. It's liking it. That massive structure is gonna be my greenhouse, but I'm only gonna put trees inside on the ground in the spring. Right now I'm just gonna put trees in there and close it up in the vinyl when the winter comes. It's my most pride and joy. Macaque sapodilla. Look at all these fruit. Self-fruiting. And look at the trunk. I did trim it down. I don't like it being too tall. So whenever I see it's coming up higher than the bush form, I trim it down. I'm gonna try to keep all my trees in these 7-gallon pots for a while. See, fruit. Sweetheart mango. Again, they were 5 inches tall, and 5 feet tall, and I pug it down and training the small little branches to come out, and it's gonna be like a short mango tree instead of being a tall one. More sapodilla. This one's either a high prolific or Merino. I don't think this is a Merino. It's gotta be the prolific. When we were moving, some of the tag came out from the trees. Yeah, I got a feeling that this is the high star, and this is possibly the Merino, because Merino was in a very short trunk when we purchased it. Don't know what's going on. It's yellowing the leaves here. Maybe getting too much sun. It's getting out new leaves. See, this is my Valencia Pride mango I purchased 2 weekends ago. Same thing. It was very nice, and then I pug it. And so, like, now you can see all these branches that are coming out from the trunk. I'm gonna just try to keep 4 of them and then train it out again. In this little corner, I have a Fuju, but this is the Euro persimmon, also on the ground. I pug it down short, so now it's very branching. Celeste figs, put it in the ground as soon as we moved here 3 months ago, and lots of little figs. This was my Mauritius lychee that I purchased at Home Depot for $5 a year ago, and wintertime it died, but I decided to go ahead and put it in the ground, and it seems like pushing out new growth as soon as it's getting in the ground. So it's alive. Those are more guava air layer. And this is my Monroe avocado. It was in one of those big 20-gallon pots. Died to the trunk from the winter freeze, and now it's growing out, back out. I don't care for it, so I put it in the ground. This is my guava seedling. I have it in the ground, not in the pot this year. I just bug it out, but it's growing really nice. Check this out. This is my Tanashi persimmon. It's the soft kind, astringent variety. Put it in the ground, in a mound. Mount a bunch of mulch on it, never water it, let the rain kind of take care. There was like 20 of these fruits. So I picked them off, let the tree get root established, and I left 2 in there. Not on purpose, but I must have missed them. And now they're 2 growing fruit. So I guess I might be able to taste what it's like. So over here on this side, I'm planning to put more persimmon down. This side, I already have citruses on the ground. I think this one is the Hanlim Sweet Orange from Costco. I purchased in the spring. This one is a sugar apple. It was so tall. It was like 6 foot tall. And I, again, trim it down. I don't like my trees being too tall. But these are my persimmons. I'm going to put it in the ground next month or this next coming weekends. Here's my Lisa Atamoya. Let me look how big it is. It's so branchy. This one lost leaf many times, and when it grows back, the leaves are really big. It's doing really good. It's a grafted plant that I got from JON. Actually, it was gifted to me by a friend that I help with photography. I think that's nectarine. Again, I'm gonna put those in a row on the ground. Any of my stone fruit, you'll see I cut them really low, so that when I put it in the ground, it will become grow. Very low. It's Chandler pomelo. I guess it's liking it on the ground, in the ground. This tree is the custard apple. I still have 2 more apple, stone fruit apple, golden Dorset, and Anna apple that I'm gonna put in those spots. Bưởi năm rồi. This is the 5-stick pomelo. Vietnamese like them. It's air layer, so I don't know how good would it do, but it has a really good root system already, and so I hope it's survived this year, winter. Last year I put one in the ground for my parents' house, and the 20-degree freeze killed it. It was a grafted on a trifoliate rootstock. So more sugar apple. Here's my pride and joy starfruit trees. I have it in the ground and went ahead and chop all of its leaves and branches so that it's not going to be taller than that fence over there. And I pull it down until I hear a crack, a snap like this, and that would just push out flowers. It's kind of resemble the hurricane. The University of Florida had a few research or study on starfruit, and they noticed that every time a hurricane comes, the starfruit tree started to bloom, and it's because the branches getting more fragile. I mean, So they try to mimic the hurricane season, and I have a friend who tipped the branches all the time, and he gets fruit 4 seasons out of the year. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, these are my seedling area, earlier area. Those are all of my wax jambu air layer. I personally air layer these 2 wax jambu and put them in 3-gallon pots. I think I can sell them now. Just kidding. They always die every year, and so I go buy them in the spring to replace them in its spots. And now I learned that if I could just air layer them and keep them inside the house or in the garage for the winter, then I don't have to go buy new trees. But, these are my cherimoya seedlings. With cherimoya, what I learned is that if you pick the leaves, the branches will come out like another branch. And so I've been training my cherimoya seedlings to be multi-branches and a very low when they're really low. So if I pick off the leaves there, another leaves or another nodes, branch node would come out. So these are some of the passion fruit Fredericks cuttings that I did. I believe this is a soursop seedling. Cherimoya. These will go into the ground. These are endless summer hydrangea, different varieties that I have for like 2 years now. They're in pots. I put them in the new house at a shade location because they don't like to be in the sun. They're hydrangea. They drink a lot of water. This is my herbs area. Herbs, tomato, chili pepper, and garden beds. We started this garden bed about 2 months ago. We purchased these garden beds set up from Greeny Gardens. I think it's from Amazon. And they were quite inexpensive. I think they were about $25 per bed. And it's so easy. You just put them together in like 5 minutes. And you just put in soil. So these are 4x4, and we had 4. Well, actually we had 3, and it became 4 beds. And then I just, in the middle of summer, broadcast seeds. I didn't know what I was doing. Seeds and things, just cuttings from Vietnamese herbs, just to get them established and have something going on instead of weed or rocks. As you can see, I have a bunch of gaumon, kangkong, or morning glories. Those were stuff that I purchased from the store. Tomatoes, peppers, but I believe that either I put it in the ground too late, or that area didn't get a lot of sun, and so they're not doing very well in terms of growing. And then I might have to stake them too. But over here, this is my husband's bed. And he actually puts in sweet potato heads. And the potato and herbs and basil are now taking over the whole bed. Is that okay? Okay. That's pretty much all my garden. Look, this is a guava ceiling. Yeah. See, we can't close the fence, but we can plant something to cover it up, and nobody can tell that I have lots of trees growing in my backyard.